Also, there's this crazy thing where you can go into like image options and you change the size.
Yeah, but that's for nerds, right?
That's for nerds, yeah. I didn't study Word or whatever.
It's not even Word, it's Google Docs.
Oh, it's Google Docs, yeah. I didn't study Google Docs.
You know, there are always these memes, right, where you invert, you change like a minor thing and your layout completely breaks down. I often wonder whether the people who actually make Word, whether they're sitting in front of those memes and they're just like, if you only had clicked that one option, nothing would have changed.
Well, they do it on purpose. It's like laying out a bunch of rakes and can you get through them all?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. Guys, so before we get into it, hello and welcome to Everyday Eternal number 191, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our brand new Patreon, Cameron Wisniewski, as well as Connor Clark, who upgraded to the Eternal Witness tiers. Is it actually time we changed the tier name? I haven't really seen the Eternal Witness, and I feel like whenever we still see Eternal Witness, it's part of like an Alluring combo at best or something, right?
It's like, not been legacy card for quite a long time. But
I mean, neither has Alluring.
Didn't we mention Eternal Witness last episode when we talked about the worst decks in Legacy? So I think we mentioned it.
But you know what? In the name, it's Eternal. Like, it's still one of my absolute favorite cards of all time. It
is. It very much is.
That's right. Yeah, that's just not many cards that have the word Eternal in it.
No, and what's the name of this podcast? It's
I want to say, like, when there's like cards in Magic and they have Eternal in the name, they're usually pretty bad, right? The only good ones that come to mind are like Eternal Witness and Eternal Dragon, and those like good 20 years ago. I guess that's the whole idea of being eternal, but yeah.
Yeah. I think Eternal Witness might be like the amount of people that like it versus don't. It must be the highest in Magic potentially, like the most favorite card.
I mean, it's probably more these days. It's more like the amount of people who like it versus the amount of people who have never heard about it.
Yeah. Like you just made me open up Scryfall, and dude, there is another Legacy staple that has the word Eternal in it.
Dude, I just did the same. Dude, Eternal Warrior, right?
Dude, not Eternal. Who the fuck is Eternal Warrior, dude?
I made you sign 60 copies of Eternal Warrior. You better remember.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that little fucker. Yeah,
I totally remember that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Good boy. No, I was referring to Eternal Scourge, which is totally a legacy card.
Oh, yeah. From
hashtag food chain.
Food chain, yeah. There's actually another one. Have you guys ever heard about? Oh, it's part of the reserved list. Even, of course, it is by Mark Poole. Eternal Flame.
Oh, dude.
It's like the greatest finisher ever.
Yeah, it's a red burn spell, no?
It is.
I think it is, yeah, dude. Like, it's gotta be like one of those like legends or whatever sets.
The dark.
It's like 5 mana, does 2 damage to something, and you draw a card.
Sounds about right. Yeah. It sounds about right, dude. Power level was so crappy back then.
So basically, you guys are halfway there. It's 4 mana sorcery, and it deals X damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Equal to the number of mountains you control. But it also deals half the damage rounded up to you.
Yeah. There's a downside to this, right? Okay.
It's like a bad Flame Rift. And I mean, Flame Rift is already not good to begin with.
I mean, this is like a decent card on turn 6 if you have 6 mountains. You deal 6 damage.
Yeah. I think you can deal more than 6 damage for 6 mana in Legacy at least. But you know, actually, let us know if you are listening to this. Let us know on Discord. What's the highest amount of damage you can deal with a single card in a single red card in Legacy for 6 mana?
That's a good question because the competition is high. Like we got Price of Progress, which is for 2 mana, and I frequently see it like deal 14 plus damage.
That was so not what Julian was meaning.
Oh shit!
But good answer. It's like 3 Price of Progress is 6 mana. Yeah.
So guys, if you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal, where I can buy my cough medicine now, I guess. So guys, what have you been up to? We already entered summer, dude. The year is flying by so incredibly quickly. And I want to say I just put out finally the post for the Impact Returns Golden Ticket Tournament that we're going to be holding this Sunday. So check it out on everydayeternal.com and sign up. And either you or a friend of yours or Kai or Callum or any of your champions will compete in the tournament for you and win the golden ticket to enter all of the tournaments, almost all of the tournaments at Impact Returns later in late July for free.
If someone wants me to play Eternal Witness Nick Fit, I will.
If someone wants me to play Eternal Flame, go ahead.
Would actually be insane if people like requested you guys to play all the meme decks and
like every one of the Eternal Everyday Eternal podcast is gonna play an Eternal card in the 675.
you gotta have an Eternal. Yeah, that's
a fun idea.
Maybe you should have done something like that for the future. Like everybody has to play meme decks, right? And then somebody just shows up with like, I don't know, their regular deck, and they didn't read the description, and we're like, oh, this is so bad, it counts as a meme deck. And only afterwards do they learn, wait, they counted my regular deck as a meme deck and I won. Like, but they have, Wizards sometimes introduces a couple of changes, but there has been like a pretty big change that we will get to in a moment, right? That's the Saga change. But let me quickly get back to what you guys have been up to. Like, what are you doing right now? I saw Carlo, you won some kind of medal. Is this Warhammer Sportsman of the Year or something?
Yes, yeah, that was a few weeks ago now. I went to Warhammer World to play in a Teams event of a Middle-earth strategy battle game, which is like my current favorite game. It's I've been playing it for like a year and a half, and the tournament scene is it's like, because Warhammer is like an English company, going to Warhammer World to play Lord of the Rings stuff was just fun in itself. But we won the most sporting team as well, which a lot of people in the Middle Earth game think is like the best prize. That and best painted, like coming first, second, and third is like whatever. But most sporting, while we came 9th out of 20-something teams, so it was like top half as well. And best sporting is a pretty nice achievement. So most sporting in Warhammer World was really cool. So that was a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, dude! Congratulations.
Yeah.
So how did you actually like become the best sporting team?
Well, we actually like did okay. Like I won 4 out of my 5 games with major victories, which is short term for a thrashing. I was also playing what most people think is the least fun army in the game, which is like the Witch King, and it's got loads of debuffing, and it's a real grind to get through, and it's pretty bullshit, to be fair.
Okay, I can see why you're the sporting team. At least you admit it.
Yeah, I admit it as well. So like, I don't know. When you're going to these kind of events, especially Warhammer World is not like the top tier of competition. Everyone's going there for like the enjoyment of playing in the home of Warhammer, and every single team we played against was just like nice as well. So every person has to do a best sporting, and if you just get along with one person really well, it's always going to be them. But I would have chosen all 5 of my opponents if it was like I'd be happy to vote for them. So
are they that bad?
We were just extra nice. I don't know. Yeah, I had 3 of my opponents come up and say they voted for me. So 2 of them I had to be like, oh, I didn't vote for you. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh.
I didn't say it though. I was just like, oh, thank you so much. But it was good fun. Really, really good fun.
That's good. So what is like the most popular army? Is it like, I don't know, Frodo's fellas or something?
The Fellowship. Frodo's Fellowship.
The Fellowship.
The cool thing with the game is it really depends. So what they do is, in all kind of war games and stuff, you make an army based on each model is worth X amount of points. Like people that play Warhammer 40,000 will be familiar with this. Like a Space Marine is 15 to 20 points, whatever. But in Lord of the Rings, everything has points levels. But when you go to a tournament, they have all differing points levels as well. So this tournament was 800 points. Each person plays with 800 points, which is on the larger side. I went to a tournament this last weekend that was 700 points, which is on the larger side. I've gone to one in August that's 250 points. So depending on the points level, different armies are good at different things.
Okay.
So if you think about it in terms of legacy, let's say, actually a comparison could be the Australian Highlander, I think, where they point cards. So like one card that's really powerful could be 3 points, and you're allowed up to 7-point Highlander. That's the one. So you're allowed 7 points to play with, and like, I don't actually know, so someone's going to shout at me and they hate me for this, but like a piece of power is like 3 points, for example, like maybe Ancestral Recall or something. So you build your deck.
I think it's actually Mana Crypt.
Is it Mana
Crypt? The best one.
Yeah,
Mana Crypt's the best one, so that's probably the full 7 points.
So let's say you build around this one powerful thing, so you put some tutors in there and stuff as well. Let's say now you could have 3 points if it's a smaller tournament, or like you get 10 points and build about different things. That would change how many of these different cards, and maybe change the archetypes and change how people think about things, and think, all right, if someone's going to have 12 points, they're going to have all these powerful things, the power level goes up, maybe stacks effects are better or something. It's just ways of thinking like that. Whereas so in these tournaments, if you play an army that has access to like the biggest, baddest heroes in the game, like Gandalf, Aragorn, the Balrog, huge eagles and stuff, like the eagles that come at the end of Return of the King. Those things are all differently powerful in different points levels. So like Aragorn and Gandalf together are very powerful, but they're only good if you can take them at a high points level, because you need to have your troops for doing the game and objectives and missions and
So
stuff.
it's not like, like Frodo or somebody could take out an entire army. Like they're like 400 points. They're like up against the Knights of Rohan or something, and just like snaps his finger.
No, the way the game works is anything is possible, because one person can just roll ones and another person can just roll sixes. But reasonably, no. Like, yeah, it's crazy things can happen, but the better player will always win a game of Middle-earth. It's quite cool.
I was gonna ask you, like, what's the single-handedly best figure or character or hero in the game? Is it Gandalf? Because like Gandalf seems so
it's Legolas
MVP
at the moment.
It's Legolas. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, dude. Oh no,
Yeah.
please. Dude, he was like so MVP in the movies already.
Yeah, he shouldn't be, and everyone hates him. It's
Oh,
quite funny.
man.
He was
dude.
OP in the movies, I want to say.
He is. So it's like it's on theme.
Yeah, Legolas aged so poorly, I think, because like I think the majority of us
Legolas
kids
aged so poorly.
So
Something I never
like,
thought I'd
no,
hear.
because like he was like the MVP, right? Like back in the day, like I loved Legolas so much, and I think everyone did, because he's like such a cool character and he can never die. And
I always thought it was lame, but whatever.
right, but yeah. Okay, I guess you were grown up then, maybe back then already. Well, like, yeah, but seeing this like now, like I told you about like my least favorite scene of all the movies, right? It's in the second movie where
with the warg attack.
he jumps on the horse when they get attacked by the wargs, and
Yeah.
it's the one. It's like the 5 seconds I always skip on purpose when I watch the movies because it's so bad.
Even though it's so short, it's just, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to get the control
dude,
out and do it.
It sucks so much. Holy shit, dude. Peter Jackson, please delete it.
It's surprising because everything was so well made, but just that made it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like if this continues through the movies to till like the board game and stuff, like, dude, Legolas is so fucking dumb, dude.
But
he's so good looking.
He's
you know,
shallow, like as a character.
yeah.
I guess he's not very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's like even done on purpose. Really, it's just like a mismanaging of balancing stuff. Like, he'll be a points level. He's 100 and something, and like he should go up like 20 points on his cost, and it's okay. Like, Gimli's been done dirty. Gimli sucked last edition, and he sucks now as well. So, poor guy.
Can you play, what's his name, Sauron?
Yes. So I went to a tournament this weekend. I didn't actually play. It was a 2-dayer, and I couldn't go on the Saturday, so I didn't actually play. But on Sunday, I was the ringer, which means when there's an odd number of players, they'll just get someone in with usually a dumb meme army and just like make it up to be even numbers, so everyone plays a game. So I was the ringer on Sunday, and I had Sauron and 3 trolls, like, which is a terrible army in the game because you're meant to like have loads of troops to go and do objectives and play the game and stuff. So I won 1 game and I lost 2 pretty badly.
Like, you actually won one
But
game?
it was very fun. Sauron is he's the second most expensive model in the game, and probably the second most powerful based on just rules alone. So it was very fun. Can you guess what the number 1 is?
Mouth Sauron. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, that's so bad.
He is a really cool looking character, though.
Is it Aragorn?
It has to be a wizard, no? Like, it has to be Gandalf. I bet Maras, it's Gandalf.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's Aragorn.
Okay.
I guess it's Gandalf or Saruman. No, Saruman. Yeah, maybe Saruman. I don't know, dude. Like,
maybe it's
Saruman
the
is
tree
weird,
guy.
dude.
No,
The tree guy,
I'll say
beard?
both of you are wrong. Take another guess.
Okay, aren't there like the gods or something? The oh my
they're
god.
not-
Oh, Galadriel? No, dude, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, Galadriel actually could be it, but is that person in the or entity in the
Yes.
movies?
Yeah. So
In all of them?
Iluvatar is the god of Middle Earth, but
Oh yeah, that's
But
what
no,
I
no,
meant.
it's
But
in the
That
movies.
one's not in the movies. Maybe one of the elephants or something. Okay.
one of the elephant
powerful than
elephant
Sauron.
number 3.
nope. Sorry, it was elephant number 2. Sorry.
Oh, that one's
dude.
banned, I thought.
Oh man, dude.
Please don't tell me it's
No,
Frodo.
God, no. Fuck that.
Oh, like one of the
No.
hobbits.
Oh, Gollum?
No, God. What, you're just going down in how good they are.
Okay, maybe
We're kind of starting from the bottom here.
I know nothing about Lord of the Rings, really, but I know that there are like blue. Oh, I know which one. Is it Smaug?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. It is.
That one's in the
Ah.
prequels, right?
It's in the Hobbits. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
dude,
Smaug is
yeah.
actually considered more powerful than Sauron?
Yeah.
Like, also in universe?
In the universe, I've never heard that argument before. I haven't really thought about it, but in the game, he's much more powerful.
Oh, that's wild. That's
Um,
wild.
Like, dragons in Lord of the Rings are like gods. They're huge entities. Problem is, Jamie, who's my friend, he's a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. He's going to listen to this and have such a go at me for not knowing very much about it. But dragons are like considered gods. They're quite rare in.
I mean, they're pretty rich, right?
Yeah, he's got a lot of gold.
Yeah.
They're like the oligarchs of Middle Earth or something.
Yeah, basically. But there we go. That's what I've been up to. Dragons stuff.
Okay, Kai, you really gotta match that.
Holy shit. I played some Legacy.
Whoa, okay.
That's it.
No way.
On the Legacy podcast.
Hey.
Did you stream it?
No, I played a tournament like last weekend, and yeah, like a few leagues here and there. Like nothing too special, honestly. Yeah, just two.
Tell me you didn't do well at the tournament without telling me you didn't do well at the tournament.
I didn't do well at the tournament. I was a little back and forth. I also like, I don't know, like I'm also like at a point where I try out more like how do you say, like
experimental stuff.
Yeah, like especially when it comes down to like keeps and like ponders, and like I tend to keep more questionable ponders just to find out how they turn out, that sort of thing. Like I don't know if
very convincing, honestly.
No, it's not necessarily good. I'm kind of trying to reinvent the wheel kind of thing. I don't know.
I mean, that's not necessarily
like,
bad by itself.
It's not bad, yeah. Like you know, when we like ages ago we talked about we have an opening hand with 0 land, but if you have double attacks in probe, do you keep that hand kind of thing, right? And I had a similar hand on Saturday at the tournament where I had like 0 lands, but I had a very explosive hand and I had double street trade, and I kept the hand and
on
I
the
got
play or on the draw.
I was on the play. That was kind of bad, yeah. And I got punished, obviously. But that sort of stuff, right?
I love keeping that shit. I'm terrible. Sometimes I know it's wrong. Painter, I'm quite good at mulliganing because you've got no cantrips and stuff. But like, I don't know. I did a draft a couple of weeks ago and I kept 1 landers in the draw that like desperately wanted a second land. But if you hit, it's amazing. And I kept it multiple times.
Exactly. Yeah, at that point, it kind of feels more like playing poker almost. Like, because you play to your outs. No, not to your outs.
Like,
yeah.
If the hand is amazing, I think... I do think they're right to keep very often, especially if you know the matchup and you think it's a bad matchup, then you can do that. But even in the blind, I think really powerful things that just need like a little bit to go right, or I mean, maybe it's 60% to draw a land or something. Some hands can also just survive for a couple of turns if they have a force of will or whatever.
I think you have a good point there. Like if you already know that the matchup you're facing is not in your favor, and you have a hand like that where you know it, like the double street fifth example, and you have 0 lands, but if you hit the land, you are very likely to win that. Like I would probably always keep that hand if it's a bad matchup, but I wouldn't want to do it in a good matchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you might want to, you might throw away the game against a good matchup.
100%. Like it's similarly, if I know I'm against a bad matchup, let's say Painter against Cloudpost or something, and I open a hand in like game 2, or if I just know my opponent and it's like a Goblin Welder, then like a Lightning Bolt and a Fable, and then 3 lands and something else, like I'm not going to keep that because it's a good hand against Delver or something, but I just know that I need to mulligan down to 4 or 5 to get a very fast explosive hand with like 2 Ancient Tombs or something. You just need to do these things. So in the same way, I'd keep these risky hands.
It's a classic consideration, right? Of, well, this hand sucks, but it's still better than my average 6 in this matchup in general. So I'm gonna take the odds in this game. And I think that's kind of like a tough call to make, because of course you say some of those hands can survive for a couple of turns even without a land. They can physically survive, and they can probably even strategically survive, as in it being the right call. But can they also survive the humiliation of like just sitting there? Pass.
You're right that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to look stupid and make stupid plays. I think we've covered it before in the past.
Yeah, that's right. I think like nowadays you don't see like the land go or like the draw and then pass without any game actions. That's just not very common these days, but it used to be a thing, I think.
Very much so.
Right? Like 10 years ago, like I had like the craziest discussions with Jonathan Alexander about Canadian Threshold back then, where he said like, yeah, so here it is, correct to not even attack with nimble mongoose and blah 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 blah. Yeah. It was, dude. It was really messed up. Like,
is it like keep a 5-lander and don't play your land turn 1, so they think your mana screwed, and then they wasteland you following that?
And keep up counter spell, exactly.
Like every time you draw, you're like, oh, I just drew the land. Then
but like,
don't,
for example,
don't force a will
an
infernal tutor, because then you can discard to hand size and grow your mongoose.
It went so deep to like so you never attack your miracle opponent with your 1/1 mongoose until you have threshold, because you don't want to trade with Snapcaster.
Yeah,
you also don't want
to. That's not that deep, is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's like I don't want to like start attacking on turn 10. Like I want to get something going before that, you know.
No, but remember, Threshold was the control deck.
Threshold was the control. That was
also.
Yeah,
that's why they had a counter spell in the sideboard, right?
Exactly.
This is where you're going wrong.
A single one.
Turned the matchup around.
Yeah, dude.
Frostbringer control, baby.
One counter spell.
Seriously, at some point we really got to get Jonathan Alexander on the podcast again. Like he was like a real character, and when people say that, it always like it sounds bad, but in a way, like I think not everybody always believed on anything he said, but he had like this conviction, this strong true belief in everything he said, that he was like a movie character almost in a way, right? When he talked about his legacy decks, and you would listen to that, and I don't know, I kind of miss him not being in the scene anymore. But I think Kai, you had contact with him like a while ago,
yeah,
right?
I met him like a few months, like a half a year ago maybe or so, at a tournament. He doesn't play anymore, but he still has like strong opinions on things, and like
perfect. You should be on the podcast.
Yeah, dude.
No, seriously, like, but he still showed up for the tournament.
He showed up just because I told him so.
Perfect.
Yeah, like, dude, you gotta
best
show
reason.
up. Yeah, and then he looked at the newer decks and it's like, oh yeah, so it's kind of like Legacy 10 years ago, but like all the creatures have changed, and so yep, that's right.
Just a little bit.
Just
probably how it's always gonna be.
Yeah.
Cool. So some things that we already teased do change. Callum, take us away. Which changes did Wizards make to our beloved format?
So, because players need to feel happy and need to feel loved and don't want to feel bad about things, there's been a change in standard. There's a new, I don't know the cards exactly, but there's new saga creatures essentially. And so if a card like gave a card lose all abilities, sagas would just die before. And that feels bad to have your creature just die to something like Eaten by Piranhas, which is a card in standard. So they've essentially changed sagas to, if they have no abilities, they'll stay in play, is a TLDR. I'm not much of a rules person. Like, I know how cards are meant to work and stuff, but then once you get into the nitty gritty, I'm like, well, I don't know, man. But essentially, Urza Saga doesn't die if a Blood Moon comes to play before or after it. So if there's a Blood Moon in play already, you can play a Saga. It will tap for red mana, but not colorless. If there's another Saga in play, it will tap for red still if a Blood Moon comes to play after it. But also, if it's gained some of its Chapter 2 ability, then it will retain that ability even if the Blood Moon comes to play afterwards. So what this means is a pretty good curve is like turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Blood Moon, or any turn really. If you
imagine saying that like just a couple of months ago. yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's completely flipped the thing on its head. It's completely different. Whereas, you know, Blood Moon was a good hate card against Saga. Like Moonstomp, would be leaving it in against Saga decks to kill it because it's a huge tempo loss and it kills a great card. But now you're building decks with the 2 in for the synergy. Because even so, once you get a Saga on 2 and then you get a Blood Moon played after it, then it retains its ability to keep pumping out constructs, and you're insulated from it getting wastelanded because wasteland is a mountain. So it's like extra synergy there and stuff.
It's actually insane. Like you said, it completely turns it around. Not only does it not destroy it anymore, it actually protects it from wasteland. It was kind of protected from wasteland before because wasteland doesn't work on a Blood Moon, but it was auto wastelanded before, and now it's just
yeah. But also, then if the Blood Moon is like removed afterwards, life carries on like normal. You'll then tick it up. So if you had a Blood Moon in play, you play a Saga, and then a few turns later the Blood Moon is removed from a disenchant effect, then the Saga will then tick up on your next turn. It continues life.
But then it ticks up to 1, right, on the next turn, and only gains the ability to make a colorless mana. I would think so. Because it never got the first chapter in the first place.
That makes sense. Playing online, I feel like I've seen it have a little counter on it, but I really can't remember now, so I can check that out. That sounds like you're right. Let's go with that. But yeah.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. Like it'll not have a chapter, and then it'll go up to 1 after the Blood Moon leaves. That sounds correct.
So is that like a real deck now, or like a real deck building thing that people do?
So the way people are thinking, the obvious things is Blood Moon, obviously, as you said. Painter and Moonstompy are like the main Blood Moon decks in the format. So Painter already plays it as a Saga, so it's great there, people are thinking. And Moonstompy, I think they just want to play like 2 or 3 because it's not great otherwise. But you do play, like you get treasures from Fable tokens attacking, you have Chrome Mox, so you do make artifacts and things. So you can make bigger constructs and stuff. And then just the tutor ability. So I have played a bunch of leagues with this. I think it's just going to be like a little part of the format, and I don't think the changes are actually as big as people were expecting and stuff. So like why Saga is so good in Painter is because you go and search one of your grindstones, because then you can play like 1 or 2 grindstones, and then you don't need to like draw them because it's pretty bad unless you have the combo ready to go. So you don't really want to be stopping your Saga from going to chapter 3. It's like a little bit of anti-synergy there as well. Moonstompy is quite happy to do it because, if it's just a land and you're playing Blood Moon, you're probably locking your opponent out and you don't need the Saga to then win the game. The whole classic getting it onto chapter 2 and then playing Blood Moon is a very powerful thing, especially against like fair decks, or if you're just locking someone out with Blood Moon, you can buy the time to make some constructs. A pretty common thing in my leagues though have been like, I'll get a Blood Moon to play against blue-black X, either Reanimator or Temper or whatever, and they're very smart, these people that play online. They'll fetch for a swamp ASAP. Like, I think they've already changed all of their fetches to black, so I see Marsh Flats over like a Flooded Strand that might be before, because they know the swamp is so important, and Barrogoyf is just everywhere and beats Blood Moon decks generally. So Barrogoyf is kind of the answer to this little conundrum. Like, I've had Urza Saga going, and if you're behind on board, low on life, it's still quite slow to just be making a construct each turn, and your soul lands are turned off because they're just mountains and stuff. So it is quite resource intensive. So I'm interested to see where it goes. My gut instinct is Painter will probably play or it can play 2 or 3 Blood Moons main. Obviously, you can play more, maybe 5 or 6, but I don't think you want to go too heavy on it. I think you just want a couple for redundancy, like to not have redundancy there. And then Moonstompy, I think maybe want to play like 2 or 3 as a Saga, but it's a bit of a liability as well. Like, it's a land that's going to go away, and if you don't have the Blood Moon, then it's another thing that gets wastelanded as well. So, yeah. My first impression was, oh my god, this is crazy. It's going to change Moonstompy and Painter quite a lot, but after playing 5 or 6 leagues, I've cooled down a bit.
Okay. Is the Saga gonna keep the enchantment subtype when Blood Moon comes down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it does.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so, right? Because
like a Great Furnace is an artifact under Blood Moon,
right?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do have a very juicy 2 targets for Force of Vigor, for example.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I've had a couple of games where I've had to sequence like slightly differently because that's such a big blowout.
Yeah, Force of Vigor seems very, very sweet here. It's just that like not many legacy decks are into green these days. It's so hard. Like having a pitch ready this early is also kind of demanding.
Yeah, Wrath of the Skies and Pernicious Deed is also very good against decks trying to do this. You
yeah.
need to get these cards. You need the mana. Like if there's a Blood Moon in play, you need double white for Wrath, or you need to have the Deed already in play. Or I kept joking to play Golgari Signet, but there is a problem of Blood Moon stopping both of these cards. But like again, with my Painter experience, Deed is so hard to beat for the deck. It's just you play it out and then either you've overextended into it already and it's just come down.
Like, is Deed really a card right now?
Not massively, but like I've seen it in Bug Beans decks sometimes and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, I've seen it.
But I mean, with this Saga Blood Moon thing coming back, or not coming back, like coming into the metagame, people might play these kind of effects more. Like my first reaction was like, if this combo is very good, then I would want to play something like Miracles with lots of ways to get basic planes and Wrath of the Skies. Because Wrath of the Skies is similar to Deed, it's just very hard to beat there. But yeah, we'll see. I've been combing through the results and stuff, and there's been a few smattering of results and challenges, a couple of 5-0s and stuff, but not much really. So I think there was a bunch of hype when it happened. Everyone's like, wait, what the fuck? It actually works like that? This is crazy. And myself included, and like I even tried some Painter lists with the 2 or 3 Chrome Mox in and stuff, and I've cooled on it all pretty quickly. But it's going to be there. Like it's a thing to keep in your mind. If you see a Saga, you might want to expect a Blood Moon as well, which is just a completely different change to how it was before.
Yeah.
So
also for the sideboarding, right?
Yes, absolutely. You really need to think about things differently now. I've seen some other cool things. Like I've seen people talk about Merfolk. So Harbinger of the Seas obviously works exactly the same as Blood Moon. So I've seen like 8cast try and play these things and stuff. Blood Sun works well, Tide Shaper. But another cool thing, which some friends, Pete White Power 22 has been playing Spreading Seas in like a kind of Esper Staff of the Storyteller deck. So yeah, you play your Saga, and then when it hits chapter 2, you Spreading Seas it, and then it just keeps pumping out tokens.
Oh, dude, that I love. It's a little janky. It's a little
so
janky.
This is the kind of stuff that would have like been a thing in Legacy 10 years ago and would have been completely overpowered.
It's very slow. You still get wastelanded. But Spreading Seas is like not that bad of a card.
It even cantrips. Yeah, it's not. It's not terrible. Like you can.
I mean, that's the idea. If it didn't cantrip, it would be like pretty bad.
Yeah, there is a card called Seas Claim, I think it is, from Onslaught that does it for 1 mana without cantripping. So.
I feel so stupid because my first thought was, we can use like Tidal Warrior to do absolutely nothing.
But also like you can like then Teferi bounce with Spreading Seas.
I guess you have like bonus points against Cloud Post decks too, because like like the Esper midrange decks have a terrible Cloud Post matchup.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So
I guess if you use Tidal Warrior and you turn your Saga into an island, then you can bounce it to days.
Ooh.
Wow.
And also still do nothing.
Yeah, you can do that.
You do that, Julian.
That's cool. The jankiest play in 2025. Yeah.
I can't even remember Tidal Warrior. I'm just gonna search it.
Oh man, dude.
But it's basically just target land to an island.
I don't think I've ever like bounce a land with an aura attached to it. It like I don't even know how I'm gonna like physically do it. You know, put my days on the table and then pick up the land and then put the aura with my other hand into my. Dude, it's terrible.
You know, half the time you would probably put the aura into your hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, I got this new engine going. This is how it works. Right?
Yeah, like bouncing, Spreading Seas, like back and forth, boom, boom, boom.
And it's still terrible.
Just what am I doing, bro?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, have you guys faced it at all in leagues or anything?
Not yet. I'm very curious though. I saw that it was a Saga price went up a little bit.
It's happening in Modern as well. Like I saw Andrea Mangucci 5-0 with it on stream in like a kind of, you know, like Moxes and Tamios and Emrys and that classic kind of mid-rangey shell. Mm-hmm. Like Breach without Breach, but now with main deck Harbingers and Sagas and stuff. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, my feeling is, you know, it'll be about, but you just need to think differently.
True.
Cool. Awesome.
It's still kind of hard to wrap my head around that, because in my head I still connect Blood Moon and it's Saga. It's like, oh my god, they're getting so much value out of destroying my land. And
so often you're against Moonstomping, you're like, right, I'm going to play my Saga turn 1. It's risky if they Magus or Blood Moon it, but like if I get the grindstone in time, I get to go into Chalice, and they play the Blood Moon turn 2 every time.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna take a while to like get that out of my system.
Yeah, like if you're against a Moonstomping deck, you might want to play it like turn 1 just so that they can't play it turn 2, or they have to play it turn 1, because then otherwise you get the token making effect and stuff.
Yeah. You put them under a clock in that regard. Right?
Yeah. It's quite interesting.
Cool. So I guess we still have like half a year to actually, as I said, get that into the system, because half a year from now, while there's gonna be another, I really gotta remember which of my buttons the drum roll was. I wanna say it's this one.
Oh my god.
Still the wrong one. Anyway.
I don't think you've ever hit the right one, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Our expectations are low.
And I even like went under. So half a year from now, I hope our expectations are gonna be quite a lot higher. There's going to be another Eternal weekend this year.
Oh, yes.
That's saying actually 3 of them. They're going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think that's where they were last time. Hosted by Card Titan from October the 9th till 12th. Then in Lucca, Italy, that's pretty much... Actually, if I say it's near Pisa, I'm going to lose some friends. And if I say it's near Florence, I'm going to lose some other friends, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. When this was announced, our local Italian in our London friends chat was just like, we hate Pisa.
Anyway, it's that region, right? Of Italy. That's actually quite a while later. It's 1.5 months later. It's the last weekend of November, hosted by Four Seasons. That's really cool.
Holy shit,
that's so cool.
So good.
Congratulations. Oh my god. They did it.
I didn't think it would ever happen.
I was so surprised. Like I thought that was like a meme or like a whatever post, you know, when I saw it on X the other day. But holy fucking shit, dude! It is such good news given like how poorly it was run by JK last year in Prague.
Yeah, this has gone from one of the most poorly run events, like so much bad feedback and negativity about it,
Exactly.
into Four Seasons, really one of the most like fan favorites of all Legacy tournament hosts.
Yeah. Oh man, this is insane. Like
it's huge.
Like having an event this big also in Italy, it just I don't know, like they have the biggest community there anyway, and
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just so hyped.
I mean, for me, the most exciting thing is like there was a lot of players last year, but I feel like this is gonna it has the potential to bring just hundreds of more players in. I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you remember how many was last year? I don't remember. It was like about 800, 900.
Yeah, I thought we were like very close to 1,000 players or so.
Yeah,
but this might actually, I don't know, be like even like 150% of that.
I feel like it could be like 1,500 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we had so many Grand Prix also in Italy in the past, and
wait, they're also gonna have a Paupergeddon on the same weekend as Paupergeddon Day 1. It says here.
Oh shit!
There's Paupergeddon. There's Vintage Championships on the second day. The first day, it's actually 4 days, so they start on Thursday, I believe, with Team Trios as the main event and the Command Zone. I guess that's something Blizzard asked them to do. Paupergeddon, Vintage Championships, Super Legacy, and all that kind of stuff. And lots of challenges, of course. And then I guess the third day is going to be Legacy Championship. Yeah. Paupergeddon Day 2. Dude.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So this must be in a huge like event hall.
It better be.
Man. Yeah, I mean, Paupergeddon is like 1,000 people at least, is it?
They get an insane number for Pauper, but I guess it's gonna get cannibalized by some of the other events at least, because some might opt to just play Legacy or Vintage instead.
Yeah,
but still, like Paupergeddon, like Pauper is so popular, and I remember like they streamed those huge Pauper events in the past, right?
Yeah, I think this Paupergeddon sold out in like minutes.
Almost instantly, right?
Yeah. So crazy. I didn't know
wild.
that. That's even more exciting. Like, there's something about just a huge event with these events that you're going to and stuff.
But you know what I always like about these really, really big tournaments? It's kind of like when you go there and there's so many different stories going on. And like during the tournament, I don't really want to talk to, like when I'm really serious in it to win it or something, I don't try to like I try not to like talk too much. Sorry, I can't speak. Apparently, I also can't speak. I try not to interact with other people too much, unless I'm out, I guess. But afterwards, I love hearing these stories. Like, my friend did this, then they went to that tournament. Oh, and this person played in the Pauper tournament and always went all the way. It's just like, in the evening when you have dinner, I love hearing all these different stories from all these different events and things that were going on. And it just sucked it all up. And I love that. And that's one feature of these huge, big tournament weekends, where you feel like you're constantly discovering new things that happened that weekend.
Yeah,
it's just like so different from just like going to your local tournament.
Maybe we'll discover Pauper's your favorite thing.
I mean, I've played Pauper at varying times in my life, quite seriously.
Okay.
I think the first time I played it was like 2010, when it was like on Magic Online and was completely broken. I probably talked about this before. There was like a 5-color Sackland Storm, and that's what I played.
Oh, I remember that bit, I think, with the invasion lands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And then there were a couple of other ones with Storm and everything. It's just,
So these TOs feel like a trinity of like Harry is and Card Titan. It's been with them for years now, like forever. And it's just jumped between. The European ones always felt like the odd one out, the ugly sibling. And so I think 4 Seasons, I expect it to stick with them for a while.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. No, absolutely. They have like such a wide range. And also like talking about Japan, I think like bringing the Eternal Weekend to Yokohama is also like a big step for Japan as well, because I think the last couple of years we had them in Aichi, like in different prefectures that were not very accessible for most foreign players, right? Because you have to fly to Tokyo first, and then you have to take another train and go to and it's gonna take like a couple more hours. Yeah, exactly. And even for people in Japan, like going to Aichi was kind of like a pain. I was there like once, and it wasn't even that exciting. That
cool
area.
So it's just improvements all around.
Yeah, Yokohama is huge because it's like the south part of Tokyo. You can get there like in an hour. And I probably already know where the convention hall is because they have like this massive hall where they hosted like modern GPs back in the day and like Legacy 2. That was actually the very first big hall where I played my first big Legacy tournament.
I was gonna read the event location to you, but then I couldn't read it.
Hold on.
I guess.
Oh yeah, it's called Pacifico Yokohama. Pacifico
Convention Plaza Yokohama.
Exactly.
Pacific.
Yeah. It's a lovely area too. Like it's close from the station. You have very nice food spots too, and you can very easily go back to Tokyo area also in an hour. Yeah. Dude, I fucked it up so badly because like I booked my flights to Japan, but it's the week after.
No.
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you looking into rebooking?
I might.
I would.
Yeah, this is so bad.
Which airline did you book with? Maybe I can help you.
I don't even know which airline.
You're just happy you booked your flight, but you still messed it up.
I know there is a flight that's gonna take me to Japan, but it's like it's on Christmas night or so, like the day before.
In your defense, another thing is they usually announce this like months from now, right? This is the earliest we've heard about
I was so surprised they did like this early. Like what happened? What happened to them?
I mean, people have been asking for this for forever, for years now, and so they're finally getting it like this far in advance is so nice.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, I'm so stoked. And like again, this is like the first time where all three locations are so attractive to go to.
I mean, I want to say Prague is always a great location for me to go to as well. It's just like people didn't really enjoy the last year's tournament. And I gotta say, I didn't have the same experience, but also I was like basically knocked out for the entire weekend with toothache. Like everybody came up to me and gave me like the hardest like painkillers that's ever created. Right. So I barely remember anything that happened the weekend. I know that I completely threw away the game that would have put me into the money or something or close to it. I don't remember. But the whole weekend is a blur. And I always read people saying that the tournament was so bad and everything. And I can I get that. It's just like, I don't want to badmouth Prague because I think Prague is
Prague is amazing. I don't think anyone had a bad time there. It was just everything else at the tournament.
Yeah.
Another thing worth pointing out is on the schedule, it's 8 rounds for day 1, and then it's the rest, and then top 8 on
Thank
the
you.
Day. So we're not doing it 10 or 11 rounds? Was it 11?
Exactly. Yeah, that was another nightmare story from last year.
So that is
I've never seen that many zombies in a room. But, playing like the last round on Saturday night.
It's just such bad. Yeah, well, we won't get into it because we've complained about it already, but
right.
That's a chapter we can put in the past of Legacy's history.
Do we want to talk about the promos of the events?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty cool, aren't they? Pretty cool.
They're pretty cool, dude. I'm so excited about the one of them, especially.
Trinisphere.
Yeah, the Trinisphere, exactly.
Can you tell us about Trinisphere?
Magic.
And then me and Julian can talk about another card.
Dude, so how do you guys personally feel about Tendrils of Agony for Legacy and Trinisphere for Vintage? Your honest opinion.
So first of all, sorry, go on, Julian.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like, I guess quite fittingly, right? Trinisphere is more of a vintage, but I guess it's not that much of a vintage card anymore ever since it got restricted. But Tendril is very much. Yeah.
Well, my favorite part of this whole thing is Trinisphere is restricted, so it's a one-of, and Tendrils is just always a one-of, almost always. So I think it's I think whoever chose these cards really thought it out. I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Because you don't have to get a playset together, right?
Exactly. This must be thought of because they both fit perfectly. It's brilliant.
Well, this has obviously never heard of Grinding Station.
Exactly, dude. Like they never talked to Jonathan Alexander.
So Tabernacle next time in Legacy though, because Vintage it's like a 3-off sometimes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like Tendrils of Agony is I think the majority of players were surprised to see this card as a promo because it's not very commonly played these days. Like there are like what, like 2 different Storm archetypes right now, like the Epic Storm and then like probably some Saga
Storm,
mono black Saga Storm, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I play them enough.
Yeah,
like,
but it is an iconic card though.
It
is a very iconic card though, And like also like the
Storm players like you like love pimp cards like this as well. It's made for you guys.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's the next part too, right? Like there are a couple of archetypes in Legacy where players tend to foil them out more often than other decks. Like I've seen so many pimped out ad nauseam Tendrils decks in my life in comparison to like, I don't know, I haven't seen that many pimped out Death and Taxes deck lists or decks, right? Like you see them every now and then, but
or like Delver sometimes, but rarely. So based on how many people play it, like it's quite rare, really.
Right. I mean, of all the decks that have a chance of playing white bordered islands or something, Delver is one of the highest.
Or show and tell, but yeah.
True. So Delver's just like, you know, your local other format grinder wants to play an Eternal Weekend, so he borrows cards from
Land Station,
his friends.
Here's my basic island from M10.
Yeah, and then he goes all the way to a top 8 and doesn't know half the cards, still gets there.
It's like, reads a card for the first time. Does this kill me? All right, fine, I'll force it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. But, you know, I think, Tendrils decks are probably the most pimped out. Yeah, so I think it's sick. I love it. What do you guys think of the art?
I have strong opinions on the art.
I love it personally. I don't know, like it looks very grotesque, like very old school black card ish. Like a lot of the artworks from like the older black Magic cards had like bizarre artworks with like, I don't know, like blood and splatter and all sorts of stuff going on. So I think it looks kind of like it looks like a card that could have been printed 20 years ago.
Okay, so Tendrils I'm very much on board with. Like I love the Tendrils, especially like as a finisher and everything. This is to me like what a Storm deck looks like, right? All those different Tendrils, those are all the different Storm counts, and then eventually it just like pops out and it kills you from within. And that's just like I love the colors, like the colors are strong, and like the art style and everything. Like I really, really like this card. I love the old frame, and like you can see the bubbles and everything, and this is gonna look insane in foil. And honestly, Trinisphere is like a huge letdown for me, like a very huge letdown. I just like looked up which other cards Steve Belladin did in the past. He actually did the North American Vintage Championship Black Lotus, which is okay. But looking at his entire body of work, and I mean, that's just really just me, it looks bland and boring to me, and so does the Trinisphere. Like, there's nothing that sticks out. But I'm pretty sure that there's going to be people who love this kind of art style. I mean, most likely.
Well, you got one of them here.
Yeah. I'm just going through his like portfolio of cards. Oh, he did paint the Death Mark, which is kind of like a.
I like Death Mark.
I like it so much. It's such an iconic piece of art. It's like the one with the big eye.
He also printed the wrong art on Duras.
Yeah. I don't know many people who are excited about that Duras, but oh man, he did Gravecrawler too.
I like that. Well, to add a flip side on it, I absolutely love the Trinisphere. I think it's brilliant. It just looks like I love this old border, and I love that the basin kind of thing.
Dude, the first thing you bring up is the old border.
No, I'm saying the old border fits with the basin and the art. Like, it's brown all around.
It is the same color.
What are we looking at? Is this like some kind of crucible?
I'm not really sure. Like it's
okay.
Well, it's making a sphere, I guess. It looks like it's a forge, and it's this bright burning red in the middle, and it's got the 3 balls going around it. So it must be this is one thing, and I just think it looks fantastic. I love it. Looks like a artifact to me.
Like the perspective is throwing me off. Like those balls, I imagine those balls are like 10 meters in diameter or something. I imagine they are huge, but I really can't tell. Maybe it's tiny. I just don't know what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. I think we were so used to seeing like one single sphere, right? Like the one from Darksteel, and now we have like 3 smaller ones.
Yeah, I mean, I massively prefer this to the original one. I just think it looks way cooler. I can't really articulate it in other ways than I just think fire and artifact and brown just looks awesome to me.
I gotta say, it's pretty hard to like paint something that doesn't really exist and doesn't really mean anything other than like the number 3 being in there somewhere.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Look, like as long as this looks like a machine, sort of, I think that's
I mean, imagine like he had just printed some dude. It's just this dude. This is the Trinisphere. This is him.
I think what I like is I could just see this being on a card from the Urza's block. It just looks like it.
That's true.
That's why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you know what this reminded me of? this reminded me so much of what's it called? Temporal. Is it aperture or something?
Temporal aperture is the one where like it's it's the machine with the spiral thing.
Yeah, we call it the wash machine in German.
Nice.
Washing machine.
You know,
you spin it and then something comes out.
Yeah, it's like you spend 5 mana and you flip the top of your deck. So that's part. You know, Urza, the 4 mana Urza.
Heard of him?
The
card. Yeah,
the card. Yeah. So like temporal aperture is his ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
They combined parts of other cards to make him from the Urza's block and stuff, which is very cool.
I didn't even know that. That's pretty flavorful.
Yeah. There's multiple other things. Like he makes the construct, which is going to be. I know constructs are on lots of cards, but I can't remember now. But his making mana ability is something. The construct is something else, and then the 5 mana one is the aperture.
Okay,
it's quite cool.
Yeah,
but yeah. So for
also,
me,
also one big shout out for those cards not having reminder text on them. Like, no reminder text for what Storm does, and also no reminder text of what like the actual Trinisphere does. Because I think the OG has like the example written on it, right? And it's so ugly. But instead, we get like Internal Weekend, Legacy Championship 2025, and Vintage Championship 2025. They
looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
is there a reason why Trinisphere is like a mythic rare and Tendrils is a rare?
Oh, good catch. No.
Is that even like why did they even do
Vintage
this?
is better than Legacy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I feel like both of them should be mythic color.
This is odd. I think like why did they purposely made Trinisphere a mythic rare?
Is it maybe like the foil is mythic and the non-foil is not? But I don't think so.
Nah, dude.
They're both.
It's mythic for both, yeah. It looks a little odd because mythics didn't exist like back then when we had old border cards.
The foil Trinisphere looks fucking sick to me.
I love it. Yeah, dude. Like artifact, old border artifacts, foil.
Yeah, with the shooting star.
They hit differently.
The old border Trinisphere in foil looks insane.
It does.
That one I'm on board with.
Yeah, I love both, but the old border is just fantastic. Because also
you gotta win them, right? We gotta win them.
Let's try our best.
Like we talked so much about them, like now we gotta win them.
But these are the kind of cards where, like, again, you can just win one by top 32ing, and then most people will keep it because you can play one over in lots of decks. Whereas, like, if I'd won, I mean, the Tinker last year was a great idea because you can play that. But crop rotation, like you need.
Most people will keep it, as in Kai selling it within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure, that's fair. So I just love both choices. For me, the Tendrils art is almost there, but I'm not as big a fan as you two. It's a little bit too cartoony for me. I do like the colors. I do think the bright colors work so well with the bubbles and the black frame, like you said, Julian. I love tons of it, but I think like the octopus tendrils and stuff and the face of the person, it could be a little bit grimmer and darker for what such a evil card is. So yeah, I like
evil
it.
Card? Like it's a life gain spell.
Sure. But a life gain is a big part of black. They got like life link, bro.
Yeah, life link. Kai, by the way, how much did you sell your crop rotation for last year?
Oh man, no, it was a Tinker I got.
You got the Tinker
for the vintage event, dude. I don't remember. It was like multiple €100. I think.
Yeah, I bet. Everything else would be surprising. I'm just looking it up. Like the crop rotation is up to 1,000 now. Oh no, I'm so bad at clicking things. And
I gotta be honest, I often wonder who buys these. Like, I feel like.
I mean, ever since I started like selling like vacations and safaris and everything, like it took me years to wrap my head around how much people sometimes spend on leisure. And I mean,
fair.
I mean, I'm not talking about a couple thousand for a trip. I'm talking about 50, 60, 70, 100,000 for just like 2 weeks with the family. And
oh my goodness, dude.
I guess those are the same people who instantly buy a playset of whatever they need.
That's fair.
I mean, this Tendrils really makes me want to play a Storm deck again. Maybe, yeah.
If you top 32, you have to become a Storm person again.
Like, imagine if you top 8 this Legacy main event with ad nauseam Tendrils, and then you get your Tendrils Veganese promo. Like this, dude, this is like peak.
Yeah.
Peak performance.
Yeah.
Oh, then you use it to win the finals.
Yeah. And then you go to the next buyer and you sell it. No,
you sign it and then you sell it.
No, but like they put the cards next to you on the table while you're playing, and then you take the prize you're about to win to put it on the stack at the end.
Oh, dude, you're burning wish for it.
Yes. Oh shit! Oh my god,
Dude, that'd be so sick.
That would be like one of those old urban myths, right? Where
so
they
cool.
say, oh yeah, Kai discarded like 7 islands, so people 7 counter spells, so he thought he had like all counter spells in hand. This would be like, and then he cast Burning Wish for Tendrils of Agony that was just lying there, and the judges checked the rules and actually said it was okay, and he won the tournament.
DQ'd for outside cards, yeah.
Yeah, then he lost the second game because he had like an illegal deck or something.
Cool.
But sounds like, yeah, 4 seasons. Well, it is every day Eternal Weekend. Every day Eternal Weekend.
Every day Eternal Weekend.
There we go. We'll be there. I'm sure hundreds of thousands and millions of you will be there as well, and we are psyched.
If not billions.
At least, yeah.
I'm curious who's gonna actually do the broadcast. I haven't talked to them yet. Would be cool if it was Inigo again, right? The whole Impact Returns crew.
My literal first thought was that was Inigo.
I mean, they are by far the most professional casting
so.
crew in all of Europe. So
Yeah.
I would very much think so.
I agree.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm hyped for that now. Gotta put in some extra vacation days at work. Finally, something to put them to good use, I guess. Cool. Where did we go next? Callum, you put the show notes together for us. What's our next topic today?
Yeah, I thought we'd go over the latest Legacy challenge. Not the Legacy challenge, the Showcase challenge. Because we haven't touched on recent things too much in the last couple of episodes because we've been doing the worst decks. And so decks that are good usually do well in the Showcase challenge. And the top 8 or extended below the top 8 was incredibly diverse. I think everyone that's playing a lot of Legacy at the moment is still getting ground down by Reanimator and Oopsal spells being at the top. So the graveyard is graveyarding and stuff. But this was a nice flash and surprise to see so much diversity. So we won't go into read off every single deck list. We'll post the links so you can look at all the deck lists for the Showcase challenge in the show notes. But very quickly, just running through the top 8. Congrats to Ocean Soul 92 for winning it with Is It Delver? This is with...
Is it Delver or is it Delver? Okay, that joke's good. Yeah.
Terrible joke, buddy.
Yeah.
But it is Delver, and it's running for Corey Steelcutter, which kind of lots of people played at the beginning. It kind of had a big explosion in Standard and Modern, where it is still good. People tried it in Delver and seemed to move off it, but every time I play against the card, I'm just destroyed by it. It's so impressive to me. Maybe
I like the card quite a lot, honestly. This is the kind of card that in the past they would have made that legendary, but they didn't. So I don't know.
It's when you just play the second and then a Ponder or a Bauble or whatever. This kills you in a couple of turns. It's so impressive to me. Mm-hmm. So not surprising to see it win, and I think we'll then see a ton more people play it again. I played against Ocean Soul in a league or two recently, and he destroyed me with them. It's
I guess the prowess on top is just also really nice.
Yeah, it's like a mentor, really. The way Delver plays is it just plays 2 spells a turn. Usually, it's just it doesn't require many hoops to jump through, I think. And it wants you to play proactive cards. So some people could say, Daze and Force of Will. He even has 2 Stifle in the deck, but realistically, it's not that unlikely that you brainstorm into a Daze spell or something, or Daze and Force the same turn. If it's a big counter fight, will trigger it. But otherwise, you are just going Ponder into Dragon Rage Channeler or whatever. So yeah, it's great. So not surprised to see it win. Then second, we have Doomsday, which is the greediest Doomsday build you've ever seen. Kai, did you see this?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's the Mark Tobias deck list.
Yeah.
Kind of, except there are no rings in the deck, but instead we have Tamios. A full playset of Tamios. Good call, because the One Ring is in a very rough spot right now. There are too many consigned memories, and you really don't want to run out. It's 4 mana artifact.
Oh, especially because people are bringing consigned against Thassa's Oracle anyway. So,
exactly.
So why we say it's greedy is because it's obviously blue-black for Doomsday and blue cards, but then it has 3 Teferi and 3 Veil of Summer. So it's please, don't counter my spells, bro.
Yeah, this deck is basically it ignores, it just pretends that Wasteland is not a card in Legacy, right? Yeah. And Blood Moon is also not a thing. In,
they kind of are, but yeah.
if you believe that there is no Blood Moon and no Wasteland in Legacy, and this is the deck for you because it has the craziest mana base out there with tropical, dude, you have tropical and tundra out, and then you try to resolve Doomsday. What the hell?
So this reminds me so much of those old school Doomsday mana bases. Literally all dual lands, Scrubland, tropical, tundra, underground sea. This is what they used to do. Sometimes they even had a random Bayou in there or something.
Yeah. Very surprised to see Teferi being in this list. I mean, obviously Teferi is a nice card in this list. Like usually Ren Teferi, that was like the main reason to even splash white to begin with. But like seeing Teferi in a Legacy main deck these days is also not very popular because like Planeswalkers die so quickly to everything. So like if you show me this deck list before the showcase challenge and ask me like if this is gonna do well, I would probably say hell no. But hey,
I'm imagining not just Trop Tundra with your Doomsdays. There's like a Cavern of Souls and a basic island in play as well.
Exactly. There's so few black lands.
But I guess it just relies on you cast all the cantrips to find Dark Ritual.
You better draw your Lotus Petals in this deck.
Well, the Dark Ritual card's kind of good.
Yeah.
Third place is quite a new thing. It's pretty sick. So it's called Esper Tempo on MTG Goldfish, but that's not Esper Tempo. It's like Esper Dragons. It does have some Tempo cards.
Like a standard deck, Esper Dragons, pretty sure.
Yeah,
Dude, that was like a standard deck from like 10 years ago.
It was, yeah, with
Esper
like
Dragons.
Dragons of Tarkir.
Like Silumgar and
Oh, dude, that was a cool deck. This is like Esper good stuff. So it has like 3 Tamios, 3 Bowmasters, a couple of Murktide Regents, which are dragons. It's got like 3 Reanimates, with no Entombs and stuff. So it's just like value Reanimates. But it has 3 Roiling Dragonstorm, which is a new card. Roiling Dragonstorm is 1 in a blue for an enchantment. When it ETBs, you draw 2 cards, then discard a card. And whenever a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So that's enters, not cast as well. So even with like reanimating a dragon. And then the dragons in the deck are just 4 of them. I'm just checking Tamio is not a dragon yet.
They're like basically 5 dragons, right?
5, yeah, there's the one last one that's like maybe getting to play. Sorry, 5, you're right there. 2 Clarion Conqueror, which is a great card. It's the kind of null rod for everything thing. So it's a 3 mana, 2 and a white for a 3/3 flying dragon. And then activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. So it's a big fuck you to a lot of decks. It's a really powerful card. Like I've played against it quite a lot now, and you just have to have like the Bolt or the Fury straight away. I mean, it's super powerful against all these kind of null rod forge decks, because very often the way to beat null rod effects is with a Karn or something, and this just shots off Karn as well. So I think this is a super powerful card to have, especially in kind of tempo decks. So 3 mana, 3/3 is not the most exciting. Maybe you play against other mid-range or control decks, and it's a bit lackluster there. But it's like quite a playable main deck card, which is a sideboard effect as well. So I think it's powerful.
I like how much this card like shuts down Nadu decks. Like,
absolutely,
like all Nadu strategies in one go, because if you look at an Esper shell like this, like these shells tend to lose to Nadu decks quite frequently, right? You have like almost the same amount of like disruption as the Nadu deck, but they can all of a sudden they can combo off, and like you don't have a combo, you have to like beat them down with stuff, but eventually like one Nadu is gonna slip through and then you lose the game, sort of thing. But like this Clarion Conqueror, like it single-handedly dominates the game, right? Like it basically forces both players to play the fair game, and if both players play the fair game, then your fair deck probably beats the deck full of like Nomads and Cores and other crappy creatures.
I guess it also shuts down Undercity Informer if you get to turn 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good... Yeah, if you get into... Yeah, if you get to turn 3, yes.
On that joke, the interaction in this deck
Wait, that was a joke? No.
No. I mean, it's legit. It shuts down Belcher out the sideboard. So, like, you will definitely leave it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
you guys keep talking.
I mean, the fastest is probably turn 2, when you, like, end of turn fetch Undercity Sewers, and then you surveil Conqueror in your graveyard, and then reanimate. Turn 2. That's the fastest way how to...
At the same time,
like Thoughtseize for it or something.
This deck is getting to turn 3 against Oops. Like,
yeah.
So the interaction in this deck is actually insane. It's got 3 Source Plowshares, 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Days, 1 Force Negation, 4 Force of Will, and 3 Wasteland. Like, that is a lot of ways to interact with anything your opponents are doing. It's more than usual. Like, 4 Thoughtseizes, 3 Days, and 5 Forces and 3 Wasteland is a ton to deal with these kind of fast.
This is basically
decks.
what the old Reanimator decks from 2010-11 used to do, like 4 discard, 4 Force of Will, 4, well, in this case, 3 Days, but also Force of Negation. This is like the very core.
Yeah. And then I guess it's the Roiling Dragonstorm is, gaining some card advantage, but so is Tamio at the same time as well. So, yeah.
And Wasteland is there as well. Cool.
Yeah. So it's quite greedy mana base. There's like 1 basic swarm, 1 basic island, but I guess that's all you need.
Basic
really.
Island and the sideboard. Actually, in this deck, like for as much fun as I make of Basic Lands and sideboard, I can see why there's a Basic Island plains in the sideboard.
Yeah. To round out the dragons in the main deck, there's 2 Murktide regions, then 1 Marang River region, which is a new one. It's basically, I'm not sure about this one, but
it's basically like a fat version of Brazen Borrower.
Yeah,
not
so
really.
it's
Okay, the only thing it's common is like the adventure mechanic.
well, it's got Omen, which is it's 3 in a blue for draw 3 cards, then discard a card instant, and then you shuffle it back in your library after you Omen it.
Oh, I totally misread that. I thought it was like okay. So draw 3 cards and discard a card, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. That's actually worse than adventure.
Yeah. And then otherwise it's a 6 mana 6/7 flying. When it ETBs, you return 2 non-land permanents that are in its hand. So
I mean, seriously, like this is terrible.
it doesn't seem great, but
what are we doing with this?
With a Undercity Sewers trigger on the stack, you brainstorm it to the top and then you reanimate it.
Come on. and this is the best blue card we can use for that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to have to
This
ask.
card is not going to like live. Like the deck overall looks decent, but this card is not going to stand the test of time.
I mean, I think the deck is good enough so that you can even allow 1 meme slot. Maybe.
Yeah, probably. So to add to this, the player is Fishduggery, who's known to like play cool, dumb stuff in a way. That's meant with like in the best way possible. They play like all mismatching blah 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 as well in paper, and I think they're always open to try brews and try different things. So this is cool. So that's probably why this choice. And I first saw this deck from Pokemoki.
Yeah.
I saw him post about it. So I think this deck looks good. I didn't have Rolling Dragonstorm on my radar at all as a legacy card, but I can see it being decent here. Like it's again, I really like the Clarion Conquerors. It's worth a splash into white when you're pairing it with the Dragonstorm as like a 3 mana thing that could just solo games, and like Source of Splashes is as good as it's ever been. It's just so good right now because getting rid of Archon of Cruelties and stuff. Final shout to the sideboard of 13 one-offs and 2 consigned to memory. I won't go through them because they're just like Esper good stuff, but it's cool.
It's pretty like you say Esper good stuff, and people can probably imagine like 10 out of 15 cards in the sideboard.
Probably, yeah. Like 1 Hydroblast, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 1 Prismatic Ending, 1 Source of Plowshares, yeah.
Of course, the one of Doughty Void Walker. You get the idea. Yeah.
So very cool. I think the rest we can just say the deck names, and you probably know. So there's Oops in 4th, Sneak and Show in 5th, Nardu midrange combo in 6th, then Dimir Reanimated 7th, Cephalo Breakfast in 8th. Then we've got Cloudpost, True Futurism in 9th, Reanimator in 10th, Breakfast again 11th, then normal Reanimator, not Dimir, got lands, and then it goes on from there. Like nothing too crazy that I saw. There was a lot of Nardu in the top 32. I'm just going to give it a quick count. 1, 2. I've lost count already. I'm not very good at counting. 1, 2. Okay, 3. So fine. There's a few, but 8 reanimators apparently. So that's a bit more.
Ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Also, like shout out to the 15th place. It's like a colorless cloud post deck by Scooby Snacks. It's a Trinisphere deck. Nice. Oh. Okay, so we got a Trinisphere deck in Legacy. Hold on.
So you got a top 8 vintage twice to. Oh, you need to top 8 to get like the foil and the non-foil. So if you top 8 vintage, you get 2 Trinispheres. Exactly,
and this deck only runs 2 copies. I thought at the beginning this was like the turbo version, but it's more like a slower like cloud post, glimmer post into like 2 Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger, many Ugins, like actually there are 5 Ugins in this deck. 5.
The new Ugin is really powerful.
It's a 3-off, and then the 6-drop Ugin from like 10 years ago it's a 2-off. All this dust.
I played against the new one a few times. It's like it's in Cloud Post as well. If you check the 9th place list, True Futurism has 3.
Dude, I hate all this dust so much.
Make sure you have a Patron play when they cast it and everything goes away. Yeah, that's cool. Also in 27th place, it's listed as Rakdos Scam, but this is like a black-red Cauldron deck, which is pretty cool. It's got Goblin Welders and Engineers and Bowmasters and Broadside Bombardiers.
This looks like the kind of deck you would play, right?
Yeah, it does. It's so my kind of shit. It's got 2 main deck Magus and 1 main deck Blood Moon to go with 4 Sagas. The Saga change was in effect. It's got like loads in 1 and 2. I was like, this is totally my shit. I need to play this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one off really made, one off Deadly Dispute, one off Chrome Mox. Yeah, everything is a one off.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I thought like there's still a lot of Reanimator. About 8 in the top 32 is a bit much, and I keep playing leagues and just pairing into it constantly. But hey, we'll get to talking about Reanimator for over a year now, so we'll see how we go with that.
Yeah, I saw a short clip of, I think it was Zach of Eternal Daughters, discussing the Reanimator plague and how we just like cannot get rid of Reanimator and what we should do going forward. And I guess this kind of discussion or topic is going to stay with us for yet another year.
Probably, yeah. And my gut instinct is like they've tried. Just to like cover it very quickly from my point of view, Grief and Psychic Frog were both like a whole season behind, so they should have been banned earlier, so that got lots of the feels bad going with it. And then I really liked the Troll Bear. I know it looks a bit silly, I thought it was clever, and I thought it could have done something, but they've tried enough now that they probably just have run out of options, and then Into more Reanimate needs to go if this continues. Whether the deck deserves a ban is another conversation, but I'm saying like if people came to the conclusion that it did, and Wizards did as well, then it feels like it needs to be Reanimator and Tomb now. And there's just no way around of trying, like, I've already seen people say, oh, maybe Atraxa, maybe Archon. And I do think that those two are so much better than the other options is a big part of why this shell keeps being so strong. But it's, I don't know. I think it just needs to be...
Zach said something that really stuck with me, because I was only watching it on my second monitor, but the one point he made that actually made me turn my head was, at which point do we like sit down, play these games that are sometimes over on turn 2 and quite surprisingly often still, and just say, hey guys, this is not playing Magic anymore. This is rather gambling, and this is not exactly what I'm here for. Like without all the legal repercussions, I don't care about that, but this is not the level of depth I want out of my card game.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah. I think that's one thought.
It's difficult, right? Because like I think we all came here to play a very powerful format. Like that's for example like why I personally don't play like Pauper, for example. Like it looks very nice and so on, and then like I think the community is nice and all that, but I just don't want to.
I love how you throw in like, and the community is nice and all that. Like
yeah, but
like quickly move on to my actual point.
But I didn't come here to play like quote unquote crappy common cards that don't really do much.
Now we
right?
got proper tieback. Nice.
Like I want powerful stuff. And cards that have a huge impact and very nice gameplay and stuff. So that's why I love like Legacy and Vintage. But I gotta say, you want to have powerful cards, but the games have to last a few more turns than just turn 1, turn 2 every time, right? I think that's like the major problem we have right now. It's not necessarily because of Reanimator. Like Upsal Spells also has like a big impact on this as well. But yeah, I like to have like games that go like beyond turn 5, if possible.
Okay, Mr. Doomsday.
Yeah. Saying this as a Doomsday player.
But I get your point. I very much get your point. So
right,
we'll see whether we'll get there. I'm still guys, because I left Twitter, but I never went on Blue Sky. Like, is there are both of you guys active on Blue Sky?
Not really.
Like more or less, yeah.
So to which degree, like percentage-wise, like 10% of what you used to do on Twitter?
Yeah, less than 10%. Yeah,
less than 10%.
I have to kind of like catch up because it's kind of like the similar crowd. Like a lot of people who were on X before are now on Blue Sky, but it's kind of like rebuilding up and things. And I still don't know. Like there are so many people who have like both accounts, and some people who have only X, and then some people who have only Blue Sky.
I just googled for Blue Sky's Avatarix, and the first 2 results are your Twitter accounts.
Oh, boom.
Yeah, you're actually impossible to find on Blue Sky. Anyway, okay. I was just like wondering, where is the center of eternal policy discussion right now? Is it still on X or Twitter or whatever you call it? I guess none of us would know now.
No, I would say like a decent amount of discussion still happens on X, on Twitter. Just people are still used to it. But not so much anymore. It has decreased a little bit, but yeah, there's still like discussions and also like a lot of complaints and blah 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 going on.
So people are not logging on and saying, "Hey, I enjoyed this format so much. Thank you so much, Wizards."
Dude, sometimes I wish people would say that more often.
I mean, people usually do it like in the first 2 weeks after a ban, and everybody is like, "Oh, it's so fresh and so clean and great," and then they start losing again, and it's not that fun anymore.
I saw a lot of screenshots of like Ursa Saga Blood Moon nonsense on Twitter. Not gonna lie.
I think we lost you there for a second, but maybe the listeners were able to hear what you said.
Okay. Anyway, yeah,
that's good enough. Cool. So, if Eternal Weekend was tomorrow, what would the two of you play?
I'm a bit lost. It'll probably be still something paintery, or like with Reanimator being still so prevalent. I'm looking again at like Agatha Soul Cauldron builds. So like the one that was just brought up here, maybe something like that. I tried one with like 2 or 3 and Orcish Bowmasters, and then playing like 3 main Nihil spell bombs, like a black-red painter build. Also, I've tried like the Stompy build with rings and mained up Blood Moons and stuff. Felt fine-ish. Nothing feels good for me. I've been losing a lot, to be honest. So, I mean, losing with trying things out is fine as well. I'm a little bit lost. I'm not really sure because it feels like things could be well positioned, but it just, I don't know.
I've been testing a couple of things. Like, so if Underground Sea decks are gonna be as popular as they are right now, I think I might even think about splashing green again in Doomsday, which I kind of hate, but maybe that's what I'm gonna do. And then also I saw a very spicy looking Ad Nauseam Tendrils deck the other day on Twitter by what's his name again? The guy who won with Ad Nauseam Tendrils like a Grand Prix. I forgot his name.
Timo Schünemann?
No, the other dude.
Rodrigo?
No, not like during the Renin 6 era from the US, I think.
I only know Mark Vogt, but he won
Cyrus Corman-Gill.
Anyway, Cyrus.
So Cyrus, like, I don't know how much Legacy he plays these days, but he posted an Ad Nauseam Tendrils deck the other day with 3 copies of Demonic Council. And it is a 2-mana sorcery from Duskmourn. So same mana cost as Infernal Tutor. It's a sorcery and says search your library for a demon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Which you obviously don't want to do, but it has a delirium effect, which says if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead search your library for any card, put it into your hand, and shuffle. So it's a demonic tutor if you have delirium. And his build had like Mishra's Baubles too. So you have like you have Lotus Petals and Mishra's Baubles as artifacts, and then Ponder, Brainstorm, or Rituals, duress effects. In fetch lands, I think you get to delirium quite easily. And then then you have your regular like Ad Nauseam Pass and Flames Tendrils deck. It looked kind of old school, but
so is he not playing any Infernal Tutors, or is it like playing Demonic Council on top?
Oh, he plays him on top as a 3-of. So he has like 7 tutors basically. And that spoke to me a lot. It also plays like I think the full playset of Veil of Summer, which I also like.
I was gonna say, like, if you do that, I could very much see Veil of Summer being like a main card.
Yeah, I think like playing a legacy deck, a legacy deck without Force of Will is definitely a real cost.
Like
you're talking to 2 painter players here, okay?
Especially, dude. Yeah, I don't know how you guys have been like surviving all this. Like,
you're right.
Dude, I did elves before, right? And I crushed it.
No, I've felt the same. Like I've been looking at Blue Painter as well. It feels like Force of Will is such a huge.
Dude, like playing Force of Will is like more important than ever.
I think
this is so funny to me. This is exactly the kind of conversation I will never forget I had with Philipp Schöniger, where I was playing elves in a tournament with, I think, some card market or something. And the game came down to the wire, and my opponent, I think, just barely couldn't get there, and I won. And it could have gone the other way around. And Philipp was so stressed, like he was watching throughout the entire game, and he was like, I have no idea how you managed to do this. I couldn't do this like all day long, like playing without Force of Will. This is too much for me. Like,
it's a comfort zone, but risks. The format right now is it's fast and there's lots of combo.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, if I was completely honest, I think if I was to play Eternal Weekend tomorrow, I would try to just borrow like Blue Black Reanimator.
Okay, yeah, I mean fair. I mean,
let's be honest. Like the the very main goal is to get top 32, and then if you can win it, that's even greater. But I think you stand a pretty good chance at getting top 32.
The deck just gives a lot of free wins, especially game ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it's similar to the Esper deck. It's got like you've got the Force of Wills, Dazes, and Thought Seizers with Wastelands. Like that's just, and the cantrips. It's just such an insane package. So and then you just go, oh, I've got Entomb and Reanimate.
Yeah. We just gotta warn you though, like you gotta get to a point where we face the mirror like every, I don't know, second, third round or so, especially in the later rounds, right? So that will happen eventually.
Is that where you start reanimating your opponent's creatures?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, yeah, like if you have a Force of Will in the mirror, like do you counter the Entomb or do you try and counter their Reanimate and cast your own Reanimate on there?
Do you even keep Entomb in the deck postboard?
See, I've seen people go both ways. I don't know because I don't play it, but yeah, I've no idea. Like really, I've seen a big discussion before was, do you do that? And I don't know if that's changed now or whatever. But like anytime I'm trying to, I stick to my painter deck mostly these days. Whenever I'm trying to build a new thing to like attack the meta, I'm looking at what the deck's trying to do, and it hasn't changed a ton really. But Graveyard Hate, I think you need to main deck it these days now. Like Reanimator's still at the top, and Oops is everywhere. So like Oops is just so good at playing around the Graveyard Hate. So with Memory's Journey, so maybe just like a random Nihil Spellbomb or Solgar Lantern doesn't get you there in game one, but it can at times if you put under pressure. And main deck Graveyard Hate is a really good way to beat the Reanimator if you could beat their fair plan. Which if you're playing a fair deck with lots of removal, you can, and then you would probably win the fair game because you shut off the Entomb Reanimate angle. So I think you need that. And then you need to be really prepared for fast combo decks. So either Force of Wills or, Mind Break Trap always feels terrible to play in sideboard. I've heard it many times. People are like, oh, I played a tournament. I didn't get to use these 3 sideboard slots once. But you know what? If you're not playing Force of Will, you are going to lose some turn 1 or 2 combo decks. And I think those are quite important right now.
Honestly, I want to say during my basically super high on elves years from like 2013 to 2018, Mind Break Trap was probably one of the most important sideboard cards in all those years. Like I like was usually between like 2, 3, very rarely 4 copies, but yeah, was probably one of the most important sideboard cards throughout all those years. Yeah,
it's one of these cards where like, I mean, just to bring back memories of this lovely game I played against Kai on stream at the MTG1's event, like no card in the whole game can do that apart from Mind Break Trap, which like won game 3. It's just a completely different angle that these decks have because these kind of non-Force of Will but playing to the board decks with fast mana usually have a mix of like permanents that the opponent's trying to interact with, and they can't afford to also like Thoughtseize a deck that's trying to like Blood Moon you or potentially kill you turn 2 or 3 with Painter Grindstone, or I know I hyperfixate on Painter, but it's from my perspective. And so playing a mix of hand interaction and permanent disruption is always the best way to go if you can do that. So yeah, I'll be looking at that. And finally, it depends on like how fast, if you're a combo deck, if you can combo, or if you're a fair deck. But like the fast artifact decks, like Mystic Forge is a blanket term here, but it feels like these style of decks, you play against them once or twice a couple of leagues or so, and I think they are still very powerful. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see like 1 or 2 Mystic Forges in Eternal Weekend top 8, for example. It's
almost like a given. Like somebody's always gonna like Mystic Forge all the way in the top 8.
Yeah,
usually like undefeated after Swiss. That's how it usually goes.
Yes, totally true. But like there's a bunch of variants. Like I've played against blue variants quite a lot as well, with Emery, with Force of Wills, like with sometimes the covered dual type, sometimes not POs and stuff. So the artifact shell with the 1 ring and Grim Monoliths and Keys is just super powerful. So there's a bunch of ways you can build around it.
I saw a deck in the Legacy Showcase challenge we talked about. That was like, it was labeled as mono white painter, but actually that's just like 1 white sideboard card.
Yeah.
And otherwise it was basically, was it Mystic Forge? I don't properly know. I think it was some kind of artifact deck, and it also played Painter Grindstone.
That's cool, like with so much fast mana, like if you just draw them. Because like we say Mystic Forge now, like we say Dimir Tempo is Delver. You just say blue-black Delver. It's like it might not play Mystic Forge, but it's a kind of a grim monolith deck. Let's say
yeah. So I actually played like 6 or 7 monolith. Yeah.
So you kind of want some either Null Rod effect, or if you're blue, you want the Consign to Memories and stuff. So that's another deck that's kind of high on my radar. So it's like the artifact deck, graveyard decks.
Funny White Dragon.
Yeah. Funny White Dragon. The Clarion Conqueror. Like that is very good. Like
sounds a little bit more impressive.
Yeah, true. White Eyes, White Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Callum, it just took me like a couple of minutes of wondering why I have this browser tab open of Ocelot Pride midrange.
Yeah.
And then I finally figured it out because it's in our show notes. Like,
oh, no way.
What the fuck is going on there?
So I just wanted to give a final shout out to, like, it's kind of a new deck for Legacy. So Modern Energy, everyone's going to be sick of it by now. So if anyone follows Modern at all, you're going to know Energy with Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride. But I would say a couple of months ago, people started trying it in Legacy, and I saw it get laughed at a little bit. But when I played against it, it was like kind of cool, whatever. But I think the deck's been picking up more and more. And my friend Jamie, he's been playing it quite a lot recently and wrote a really good primer. So we're going to post the primer in the show notes. And we played a couple of... I thought that my Miracles deck would absolutely smash this. And so he said, right, let's play. And he humbled me pretty well. So I especially want to give the deck a shout out because I think it's pretty good. So if anyone's a fan of, like White Weenie, I think it's very similar to White Weenie, like aggressive decks with a low curve. Or if you're a Modern player that has the energy cards from Modern and wants to try out Legacy, this is a great, great step into it. I just think the deck is actually very good as well. So the curve is literally 1 and 2 drops. It does not go above 2. So it's just a very low to the ground, very aggressive deck. So you've got 4 Guided Souls, 4 Ocelot Pride, 4 Ajani, 4 Amped Raptor, which was banned in Modern, 4 Sand Scout, which is only a Legacy card. This is a funny one. It's Jamie's addition to the deck. People made fun of it, but it's actually kind of doing well, and it's quite impressive. So it's like a 2-mana 2/2. When it ETBs, if an opponent controls more lands, then you can search your library for a desert card and put it into battlefield tapped. And then whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, create a 1/1 red, green, and white Sand Warrior creature token. But only triggers once per turn. So the desert you can go and fetch is actually quite impressive as well. It's called Lazotep Quarry. So it's a desert. I think the list I linked only has 1, but he's added a second, so there's 2 in the list now. So taps for a colorless. You can attack it, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color, or you can pay 2 and X, sacrifice a desert, which will be it. Exile target creature card with mana value X from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Activate only as a sorcery. But
that's cute.
Because your deck is just all 1-drops, like, I lost to him just using this. So the Sand Scout comes in, goes and gets the quarry, then it goes and gets like a Ocelot Pride. So now you've got a 4/4 fly, like first strike lifelink thing just off a land. You can also do it for the Amped Raptor and get the ETB. It looks like a goofy thing. The card looks very unimpressive, and it just plays better than it looks. And Lazotep Quarry is quite impressive. The other cool thing with Lazotep Quarry is you can tap it, sacrifice a creature to add a mana of any color. That triggers Ajani. So like often you want one of your cats to die. So you go and play Ajani and then use the quarry to sacrifice the cat token and flip it straight away. So there's some good synergy here. I've been impressed watching it.
Yeah, this deck definitely goes wide very quickly, right? It's like so many different tokens you need.
Oh, and then the final creature is the card that I think in our last show when we were going through it, I dismissed immediately. I said, "Oh, Voice of Victory is a terrible card. You'll never see it in Legacy," and I was so wrong again.
Yeah, this card is insane. Like,
it's good. Like your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. I don't think is actually that relevant for this deck. But like it's a 2 mana that attacks for 3 with tokens, and then you can like sacrifice them to bombardment, and it is nice that your opponent can't cast spells. So it turns off like the instant speed Bowmasters, so you don't have to attack into it and stuff, and fatal pushes here and there and stuff. So yeah,
good point. I think like in this deck, like Voice of Victory probably makes the most out of it, like Mobilize 2 ability.
Yeah.
Like when I saw the card, I was like, dude, like who gives a shit about Mobilize 2? Right? I would totally play. Like I see this card more like a 2 mana like Grand Abolisher, right?
Sure,
like
a
silence effect for combo decks. And I gotta say, like if I see a Voice of Victory out of a Nadu deck, dude, I mostly piss my pants because this is so hard to interact. You have to you have to force it. Like removal doesn't work anymore, and then usually you get comboed out.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen in this deck. So like Voice of Victory, as you said, like it's more like a, it's more like a, how do you even say, like just a token generator.
Yeah, but if you have a Goblin Bombardment in play, it's like attacking for 5 essentially.
You can shoot stuff. Yeah. It shuts off like any like combat tricks. Maybe I think it makes attacking into like Core Steel Cutter a little easier, right? Because your opponent can't cast spells and trigger what's it called, prowess.
Yeah,
in
that's
in
true,
response
it's true.
and stuff like that. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and again, this is a deck that is like kind of weakish to Bowmasters already, but you have Guided Souls, which is a 1/2. You have Ajani, which is a 1/2. You don't really, or like Sand Scout is a 2-power creature as well. You don't really want to be attacking into a Bowmasters that can come in like shoot an X1 and then double block an X2 or something. You don't want that kind of thing. So just shutting off these, like, none of these are reasons to play Voice of Victory, but it adds enough to the deck to be worth it, I think.
Man,
and then,
like this deck would be such a good shell for the dragon we mentioned earlier on the cast, like the Clarion Conqueror.
Yeah, it could be. Like 3 mana feels like a lot, but actually it's such a low curve.
Yeah, it'd
maybe.
be like the top of the curve, but like if you have like a deck this aggressive and then you also have like some prison pieces in it, that's a recipe for death and taxes, actually, right?
Yeah. And this deck just it'll lose some games sometimes. I think it destroys tempo decks. It's got 4 bolt, 4 plow, 2 static prisons, like 10 removal spells that all 1 mana. All your threats are like kind of too shit to force will apart from Ajani, but like you need to. Like, it's 24 creatures that are all pretty pushed. Like playing against it with miracles.
You barely want to like daze any of those creatures.
No, it's awful. Like, but you got to. And then after playing a few games, you're actually like, oh shit, Guided Souls is like a better Delver, and Pride is just insane, and Ajani's like super push. So those 3 cards and Abtraptor as well is actually kind of crazy. And then 2 Goblin Bombardment, which just is nuts with Oslet Pride and Ajani.
We also forgot to mention that there are like 3 copies of Caracas in this deck too.
Yeah,
so
I
like,
noticed that.
Like Caracas, like you can not only like save your Ajanis from removal, but you can also like bounce Tamios like crazy every turn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like
gosh,
protecting Ajani as well is like powerful. And it is worth noting there's 24 lands in here, but with like 4 Wastelands, 2 Sokensen, 3 Caracas, you said, Lazotep Quarries. Like, that's a lot of lands for a curve that's just 1 and 2 drops, but it's got utility lands, and so it's got like flood insurance. And it does have Gigantha as well, so he killed me in a game with Gigantha, which was embarrassing. So, fair enough. But it's. I think it's nice to play more lands, but more utility. It makes sense.
See, for a deck like this, like I get the appeal of Giganta, but like I would argue that it's more of a downside to even show your opponent that you are a Giganta deck.
Maybe.
Like in Legacy, I know that like in Modern, like having the extra value of a companion is very nice and all, but like in Legacy, where it's like you could be on a Oops All Spells decks, right, or like on something else, but then you show Giganta to your opponent, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I guess.
I think the counter is like if someone has a turn 1 kill and they're on the play, they're going to do it. Like, even if you get Force of Wills, you're going for a turn 1 kill, and if you're on the draw, you've played a Guide of Souls or Noslet Pride, or you've gone like Mountain or Plains or Caracas Go, they're going to kill you. Like, I think nothing this deck does on the play or draw stops someone from killing them on turn 1.
Okay.
Is my argument.
Deafening Silence, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I just mean like information-wise.
Yeah. True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention like it is a downside to give your opponent any type of information, right? Yeah. Especially with a deck like this.
Yeah. Jamie's argued that, so the list I posted has ley lines in the sideboard, which you'd have to then not show Gigantha if you side them in. He's added Mindbreak Traps, but he said even when you didn't play Mindbreak Traps, you don't want to show Gigantha against combo game 2 just to bluff the Mindbreak Traps, which I love that.
Dude, I love that too.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we'll make
especially like the Gigantha doesn't really matter all that much, right? In that matchup. Yeah.
No, it won't. So yeah, I just wanted to point this out as like it's kind of like picking up and play a bit in Legacy, and I've been impressed by it. I think it could appeal to a lot of people. Again, it's
there's a lot of play to it, I want to say. And he also he wrote a 12-page primer.
Yeah, so the primer is fantastic because I've not read the info. I've just read the funny jokes and the deck list names and stuff. So it's worth it for that alone. Like, there's a tips and tricks section which says guys before prides, showcase warrior. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. So this is all his like tips for Sound Scout and stuff. So.
I just took the primer and I fed it into ChatGPT and asked it to create like a manual how to play the deck for me, just to give me a very rough idea. And it said, make energy, make cats, forget the stack exists, accidentally win through 8 triggers you barely resolve correctly. Is it good? Only if you're smart enough to pilot it and dumb enough to register it.
That's pretty harsh.
Loving it. It also called it blast their face with random stuff as the core game plan, which I think is quite apt.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So
This is the kind of legacy deck I love. Like these are the two legacy colors I like almost the least. But just like this being a thing that makes you think and just like has tons of board interaction. This is absolutely what I love.
Yeah, it's like it's very aggressive, so it can kill in the early turns just by virtue of being so fast at the board. But like if you're playing another interactive deck, it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of decisions, what you attack with because of flash creatures and how you save removal. Like, do you save the swords for a Murktide here or there because it's going to be bigger than your stuff? And like when to just throw your... So like Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride are probably two of the most important creatures. But when you're going wide enough, like when to throw them into blockers that they're going to die to and stuff, just jump attacks to push through the damage by going wide and stuff. It's really interesting.
You know, if Legacy had theme decks and Wizards made those, this would definitely be one of those in my book.
Yeah, I think so. They used to, didn't they? Yeah, maybe not for Legacy, but the standard modern decks. Yeah,
even for modern. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I still remember Crusher from What's Legacy. Everybody remembers Crusher. Anyway.
Do they?
Yeah, Crusher was good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I guess we're done for the day, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you up to for the rest of the day?
Just go and cook some supper now, I think.
Oh, you're an hour behind us, right?
Yeah, it's getting to 9 now, so
yeah,
exciting stuff.
I'll probably draw some more graffiti on some cards. I've been very busy doing that. Yeah, so
cool.
Draw some dragons.
I got some people traveling around Kenya, so I'm gonna check in on them, whether everything's all right. And actually, I started watching Andor because people told me Andor is so great and Andor is so amazing. So, well, Disney Plus, if you wanna sponsor us, here's your chance.
Yeah, dude, I watched Andor too, but I gave up after like the 4th or 5th episode because I didn't understand what the story's about.
Did you actually watch it, or did you?
So I watched the first season, and then I watched the first 4 episodes of the second season, and then I gave up. Because like after a while I was like, dude, like what's happening here? I didn't get it like at all. I love all this. I love like Mandalorian and all the other stuff, but Andor, maybe I have to rewatch the first season or so. Maybe someone can tell me what the fuck is actually going on.
Let us know on Discord, I guess.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you know what? Why I didn't watch it for quite a long time? I thought it was called Endor, like the planet with the not the Wookiees, but the small bears. What are they called? Small ones in episode like 6, I guess.
I know what you mean.
Evox. I thought it was like about the Evox on Planet Endor, but no, it's about the dude called Andor. Anyway,
exactly.
Maybe the Evox still show up. Don't spoil me.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I guess that's gonna be it. So if you want to support the running of the show directly and our Disney Plus subscriptions, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. And of course, you can leave a review with like all your friends, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are. Do we have like a Google page? You guys remember Google Plus, by the way? Google Circles, the Facebook killer.
What the hell was Google Plus?
Don't think so.
Yeah, they created Google Plus and Google Circles as the Facebook killer, but turns out Facebook died all by itself.
Okay. I think Google is already pretty plus.
Okay. Anyway, guys. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Ciao.